What is going on, guys? I am SceptileMC George, the coach of the San Francisco Arcaniners, here to bring you my semifinals match of the Token Minorities March Madness Draft Style Tournament. Mouthful, it's a mouthful, but I was in the semifinals and I played the opponent, the Rocking Pancake. And if you want to see my previous matches, I did round 1 and round 2 in there, so if you guys want to see those, then I will leave the link in the description below. But this is the semifinals match. My opponent decides to draft the Mega Diancie, Rotom Wash, Dragonite, Metagross, the Breloom, the Claydol, and the Blaziken with the Blaze. Now, immediately, I'm thinking as I look at it, it's probably going to bring the Diancie, the Rotom, the Dragonite, the Metagross. He could bring the Breloom, although I do have a lot of things to take on Breloom. It does kind of take down my core, though. And then I don't see him bringing Claydol, and I see him maybe bringing the Blaziken instead of Claydol. So right away I think, what does he have to take a Draco? And right away I see Mega Diancie and the Metagross. So I can't run a choice spec set. I can't run a choice item because if I lock myself in a Draco, he goes into Mega Diancie, and I'm put in a terrible situation. So I decided I would bluff a choice set, run Expert Belt instead, and using this set I can go for Dracos. And then if the Metagross wants to come out, I can drop an Earthquake on it. If the Mega Diancie, I can drop an Earthquake. If I don't have a drop yet, I can go for Energy Ball. I can also go for Energy Ball against the Rotom and the Claydol. I can go for Ice Beam against the Dragonite, the Rotom, Ice Beam against the Dragonite and the Claydol. And then the Earthquake is mainly for the Metagross. Could be for the Blaziken possibly, but I don't really think so too much. Max speed obviously to speed tie on the Mega Diancie. I decided to run the Hasty Nature here because I felt I would not be taking as many physical hits as I'd be taking special hits. In the end, I probably should have run Naive. You guys will see in the match where that comes into play, but you guys will see. Next up, I have Carrie. Miss Carrie Underwood over here, and with Carrie I have the Heal Bell, the Hyper Voice, the Will-O-Wisp, and the Shadow Ball. So I have the Heal Bell in case the Rotom wants to try to paralyze anything, if the Breloom wants to put anything to sleep, or if I get a burn on me or toxic from Claydol. There's a lot of different stats he can give me, so I have the Heal Bell for that. The Hyper Voice, because that hits everything, and then the only thing the Hyper Voice does not hit is the Metagross, so I have the Shadow Ball for that, and then I have the Will-O-Wisp. If I need to predict a switch into Metagross and go for like a Wisp, I will. If I'm against a lead Sash like Breloom and I know it's Sash for sure, I'm gonna go for Will-O-Wisp against it. Maybe Heal Ball. I don't know, guys. But I have the Shadow Ball and the Will-O-Wisp for that, and I have 200 investment in my speed. I believe that is to outspeed a max speed Dragonite, if I'm not mistaken. So I can outspeed that because I won't be able to outspeed it after +1 anyway. And then his next fastest Pokemon is the Mega Diancie anyway, so I can't outspeed that. Decided to run the 56 in defense, so I could possibly take a Diamond Storm. Don't think I can though, so I don't know why I even try to put that in defense. But I could also take High Jump Kick's better, Mach Punch is better. Can probably take 1 BP off of a Metagross if it's like more specially defensive. Next up, I go with Shrooms, the Breloom, and this Breloom is just this very standard set because he has a Breloom of his own. So what I decided to do is run the Spore, the Bullet Seed, the Rock Tomb, and the Mach Punch. This is just you put something to sleep, and then he starts just absolutely just bashing his team. He's pretty weak on his Mega Diancie to Mach Punch. Nothing honestly wants to take the coverage I have except for the Metagross, and I have other things to deal with the Metagross, so I'm not really too concerned about that, as well as I can put it to sleep if it tries to switch in. So that is the idea behind that Pokemon. Next up, we have Snoop over here, the Weavile, the Babiri Berry with the knockoff, the Ice Crash, the Ice Shard, and the Fake Out. I have the Babiri Berry so I can take a BP off of Metagross and then just go for knockoff and take it out. I have the Fake Out so I could defeat a lead Breloom with the Focus Sash if it comes down to it. I go for Fake Out, go for Ice Shard, and then just take out the Breloom from there. Also, I can go for a Fake Out against a Dragonite to possibly break the multi-scale if I have to go for a Fake Out and then an Ice Shard combination there. As well as it does a decent amount of damage to the Blaziken, as well as after that I can go for Ice Shard. So it's just more 2 forms of priority I can go back to back with. So besides throwing enough speed to outspeed Mega Diancie, I don't need really any more speed than that, so I get a decent amount of bulk. I should get 120 investment into HP, and that is that set. So next up we have Nado over here. I decided to run especially defensive Hippowdon for the Mega Diancie. So this is my Mega Diancie switch in right here every single time. He's going to have the Diamond Storm, and he's going to have the Moonblast. I know that for a fact. So I can already resist a Diamond Storm. I don't have to run physically defensive. I already have a huge physically defensive stat. So I decided to invest all of it into special defense so that I can better take a Moonblast. Have the Stealth Rocks, obviously. Just want to get at my rocks. Earthquake for a stab against the Diancie and the Metagross and the Blaziken. And then I have Ice Fang and Toxic. So the Toxics for the Rotom Wash as well as the Claydol. And the Dragonite, I guess, if I want to Toxic the Dragonite. But mainly on the Dragonite, I have the Ice Fang. Gotta run Ice Fang. I do not want to be a setup fodder. Especially if he's like the last Pokemon. I don't want him going for Dragon Dance, so I go for Ice Fang. So that is the whole reason behind this set. Now, my last Pokemon, Mr. Big Bro right here, the Snorlax. I got the Lumberry. Reason I have a Lumberry is if the Rotom wants to try to burn me. I don't really care. If he wants to go into the Breloom, as I made everything blue for some reason. Hold on. There we go. If he wants to go into Breloom, he might just try to put me to sleep, predicting me to want to switch out. Can't do that, so I decided overall I'm just going to try to run the Lumberry. I don't need AV. He has a lot of physical attackers on his team. So what I actually decided to do is run Max Attack Adamant with Max Defense. That's just what I decided to do, and I ran the Return, the Earthquake, the Ice Punch, and the Seed Bomb. The Seed Bomb's the interesting move here, so I have Return so I can spam my stab move. I have Earthquake so I can hit the Mega Diancie and the Metagross and the Blaziken. I have Ice Punch for the Dragonite and the Breloom, and the Seed Bomb hits the Rotom, the Diancie, and the Claydol, and it's kind of unpredictable. So that is the whole thing behind my team, guys. And without further ado, let me get right off into the battle. Alright guys, so we are here. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. We are here with the battle now, and he decides to bring the Rotom, the Mega Diancie, the Metagross, the Claydol, the Dragonite, and the Blaziken. He did not bring the Breloom. So what that immediately tells me is that my Breloom can come in for free, go for a Spore on the first turn, and I can put something to sleep. So that is my plan. I don't care what he leads off with. I have the Heal Bell if the Rotom for some reason outspeeds me. If he goes into the Diancie on the first turn, he's going to protect, but then I have a switch in for that. So I'm not really too concerned. Every single thing he brought, I have an answer for. So I lead off with my Breloom as he leads off with his Rotom Wash. What actually ends up happening is he outspeeds me and goes for a Will-O-Wisp. So that means he's either a Choice Scarf set or he's just max speed or enough speed to outspeed a Breloom. But I'm not going to stay in here because I know he's not going to stay in. I don't have a reason to stay in. He's going to go into Metagross as I go into my Snorlax. He thinks I can go for Meteor Mash right here, and that's not the case. My max defense comes into play, and then my Adamant max attack, Earthquake, does a lot to him. Now, what he actually does is goes out into Rotom right here. So I go for Earthquake again. The switch out was pretty obvious. However, in case he just wants to go for it again, just kind of sack off his Metagross, that's fine with me. He goes into Rotom and I can Seed Bomb freely. He's not going to expect it or anything. And he goes into the Claydol. I get off the Seed Bomb, and then he outspeeds me, goes for a Toxic, and my Lumberry gets activated. Lumberry coming into play, and I return, take out the Claydol. So this is the point where me having the Hasty on my Latios comes into play. Is I can't take two high jump kicks. I can't take a Flare Blitz or a high jump kick anymore. And judging by the damage, he's not a Scarf set. He has to be some kind of attack boosting set. So I go for a Draco freely, and then I drop an Earthquake on the Metagross because I know he can't take me out. He goes into Diancie now, and I know my hit patterns are 100% switching to this thing. He actually goes for a Protect right here. And then he's going to switch out, knowing he can't stay in. I don't have a reason to overpredict. I'm very much ahead right now, and I can go into my Gardevoir, and I can get off the Mega Evolution right now. So I go for a Hyper Voice right here, and it does a huge amount of damage to the bulky Rotom. But what this tells me right now is that this Rotom was not Choice Scarf. It was just max speed or enough speed to outspeed my Breloom. And I'm gonna stay in here. I'm gonna predict him to not go for Diamond Storm. That would be way too obvious. I would go to Hip Out on his Wallet. So I go for Hyper Voice just to get off a lot of damage. And I let my carry go down because I don't really need it at this point anymore. I go into Breloom. I can fire off a Mach Punch very freely right here. Just take him out. So even burned, got my Breloom doing stuff, which is always nice. So he has the Blaziken as well as the Dragonite now. Now I go for Spore, and this does confirm that he is not a Choice Scarf set. There was no way with that damage he was Choice Scarfed. I assume he's Banded or something like that. But anyway, right here, I believe I go for a Rock Tomb, just trying to weaken the Dragonite if it came in, as well as I can get a decent amount of damage off on the Blaziken, even if I'm burned. Now, right here, I'm like, well, shit, I can't let this guy Dragon Dance up in my face. So he goes for a Dragon Dance. He gets the +1 attack, but I'm like, you know what? It's fine. I can go for an Ice Punch right here. So I go for Ice Punch, and he has the Yachi Berry, gonna bring him down to 29%, and I'm like, that's fine. I can still take a Dragon Claw. No, he gets a crit on the Iron Head. Actually, I don't think I could have taken a Dragon Claw, but he went for Iron Head because I'm assuming he has Outrage. The only way he can win here is if he flinches me, and he gets the flinch, and I'm like, okay, come on now. Goes for Iron Head again. I get my Citrus Berry, and he doesn't flinch me. We're going to take him out with the Ice Fang, and then he's going to go out into his Blaziken. So I knock over a bottle next to me, and that is going to be the game. So we are in the finals of the Token Minorities March Madness Tournament. That battle will be uploaded tomorrow whenever I have free time. Probably not as early as this battle because I got out of class earlier today because I had a test, and I finished the test earlier, so I have more time to record right now. But the final match is going to be against Shoddy or the Bayern Munich from the PPL. So GBA versus the PPL in the finals. We'll see who comes out on top, guys. I am SceptileMC, George, the coach of the San Francisco Arcaniners, and I hope you enjoyed. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace out.